Hear these words. Morning. Welcome, everyone. As we gather and settle, I want us to hear these words in a paraphrase of Psalm 95. Come and climb up to the top of a rock. Stand on top and stretch your arms out to the sky. Reach out to the sacredness that wraps itself around you. In grateful silence, soak up the shining light of life. All of this is a gift. Welcome, folks, to our gathering this morning. And as we light our candle together today, in this first week of our series on the wisdom that we might learn from the universe, in what we might call a cosmic or universal sense of our spirituality, we light this candle today, knowing that this is not just a single flame, that this is connected, this light, in composition, in chemistry, with every light. The same might be true of us. We are each unique and yet connected with everyone, part of one circle, one earth community, one cosmos. May this light remind us to shine in our own way, just as we are. And speaking of shining in our own way, we affirm each and every one of us, each and every person that we might touch, meet, connect with, and in that spirit, affirm that we each belong. And so we share affirmations of our inclusion, our diversity. So let's celebrate that we're all welcome. All of us, all sizes, all ages, all colors, all genders, all cultures, all abilities, all sexualities, all learning styles and neurotypes, all religions or none, all people. And so we are welcome to community. Gilda. Gilda's going to offer a land acknowledgement this morning.
Good morning, everyone. A week ago, good morning, everybody. A week ago, I lost a dark purple string of amethyst beads, and I think they came off in the lobby. If you happen to see them anywhere, I really want to get them back because they're my favorite thing. Okay, as we gather, we pause to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory, land that was and still is home to the First Nations with whom Treaty 6 was signed, and that we respect the history, spirituality, and culture of our First Nations brothers and sisters with whom we share this land. We also acknowledge our responsibility to continue to promote mutual respect, peace, and friendship with the Treaty 6 First Nations peoples, and to further our understanding and participation in the reconciliation process.
Gathering, honoring, remembering where we meet, our deep respect for history and culture soon incomplete. First people's land from long before, relationships to restore, enriching and reconciling ways we live and dream for more.
I invite us to center and focus ourselves with these words that we find before us to strengthen our intentions. We are here in this time and place with our desire to cultivate a spiritual life. We come seeking ways to live fully and love deeply, to be inspired by knowledge and wisdom that can nudge us into a new consciousness. Let's pause in awe and wonder at the massive and the microscopic in the expanding universe. And as we do, commit to honoring the worth of every part of the web of life. I guess that's the end. May it be so. We'll sing again.
All creation sings a story of great splendors to declare, to be thoughtful of its beauty, just to be in deepest prayer. We enchanted stand in silence, sacredness lives everywhere. As we stumble on new knowledge, great new insights help us grow. We are moved to rediscover just how little we yet know. And the universe smiles gently as our theories come and go. Outer space and inner being both have mysteries that conceal. Galaxies so vastly awesome, deep emotions that we feel. This the heart of gathered wisdom, sacredness they all reveal. Ageless mystery still excites.
This is our time for all ages, and I want to welcome anyone who wants to come forward to the carpet, to close by. You are welcome to come and have a seat. We're going to have a little bit of fun up here. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Glad you're here. I'd like to talk this morning about how old we are. I've been alive for 51 human years. I'm wondering how many human years you've been alive for? 8? Anyone else? 7, 9, 1.5. Amazing. This is very interesting. Notice that I'm not asking anyone else because sometimes as we get older, we get a bit sensitive. What was that? 147. Amazing. Think that's real? I don't know. Well, this is interesting that you've shared your ages with me. I think I'd like to tell you about how we're all much older than that. Would you like to figure that out? Yep, you're older than 1.5 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 51 and 147. So I'm going to give you a little hint here. If you had to say what our bodies are mostly made of, what would you say?
Water.
Mm-hmm.
Because we literally
You're so smart.
buy salty water.
When we cry?
Yeah.
It's salty. I know. That's water. Where's all the water in our body? Water's part of what? Tears? What else? In your mouth? Exactly. Your saliva. Yep. Mm-hmm. What else? When you sweat? Yes, water. If you cut yourself, what comes out? Blood. There's water in your blood. Our brains? Lots of water. You didn't know that?
Do we have water a tiny bit of water in our eyes?
In our eyes? Yeah, they're wet, aren't they? They are wet. Mm-hmm.
Because if they weren't wet, then our eyes would be dry
Yeah.
all the time and we never blink.
Oh, it would be terrible if we didn't have water in our eyes. There's water in our pee. It's true. We are made of a lot of water. I tell you, we're made of a lot of water. So, I am going to ask you, if we look really close at water, like scientists do, we would see that water isn't just water. Water is made of some smaller things. Yes, elements and atoms.
They're made from meteorites.
Well, let's find out. Water's made of these very tiny things. If we were to look really, really small, we can't really see them. But they're made of hydrogen, which is a little atom like that. The smallest atom you can get, actually. It's the tiniest. And oxygen. That's this O, oxygen. It looks like mouse ears or something, but this is my attempt at showing you water. So if we were to look really closely, we would see it's made up of 3 little things. 1 little tiny atom of oxygen and 2 little tiny atoms of hydrogen. And these 3 atoms, they're too tiny for us to see with our eyes, even when they're wet. But when they come together, they make water. Now, we can talk about all of this for a minute, but I just want to talk about this guy. I just want to talk about the H, the hydrogen. And you're thinking, Chris, this is just weird. Why can't we hear a story? Well, I'm telling you a story. This is an old, old story about H, about hydrogen. And so, where do you think H came from? What a silly question. I'm going to tell you where H came from. A long, long time ago, at the beginning of the universe, there was a very, very bright, as bright as you could possibly imagine, and then brighter, explosion. And in that explosion, there was just a whole bunch of energy. That's all that was around in the universe was energy. At the very beginning, there were no humans. Even 147-year-old humans, there were no humans. There were no dinosaurs. There were no plants. There were no animals. There was no earth. There was no sun. There was nothing but energy. And when this energy started to cool, guess what happened? It made H's. These clouds came together and made the very first atom. The very first atoms were hydrogen. Now, that is so interesting because when we talk about hydrogen, here's the amazing thing. Every single atom of hydrogen, how do I put this back together? Right there. Every single atom of hydrogen that's in water, and there's two of them, right? 1, 2, in every molecule of water, there's 2 hydrogens. In every bit of water, there's hydrogen. And how old is hydrogen? When was it made? Remember? It was made at the very beginning, at the beginning of our universe, in that big bang explosion radiance. All the hydrogen in the whole universe was made. So guess how old water is? It's as old as the universe. Do you know how old the universe is?
No.
A guess?
6,000.
6,000? Older.
Like
At the beginning. How old might that be?
a bigger number than we can even count.
Well, it would take a long time to count. You're absolutely right. But there is kind of a guess. Scientists have a guess. Do you have a guess? Do you have a guess?
Bill.
365,000 years older.
In the billion.
It's in the billions. You're absolutely right. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
It's about 13.7 billion years old. That's like close to 14 billion. We can round up, because why not? If the universe is 14 billion years old, okay, now, stay with me here. The hydrogen is also 14 billion years old, because that's when it was made. Every single atom of hydrogen in the universe is 14 billion years old. And then hydrogen makes water. We're made of water. How old is the water inside of us? 14 billion years old. What I'm trying to say to you is that you're not 7 and 8 and 9 years old. Well, you are in human years. You are that old in human years. But you know what? There are atoms inside of you.
So we're basically 14.
Yes, you've got it. Billion. There are atoms inside you, all the water, all the pee and the tears and the blood and the brains and everything inside of you. All that water, all that hydrogen inside of you is 14 billion years old. You are ancient. You are so old. I mean it. You are so old. All of you, so old. Let's not be sensitive about it. Let's be proud of it. We're 14 billion years old. We've got the universe in us. Even Robin is 14 billion years old because look at all the water in Robin. Look at all the hydrogen. Okay, so that was a fun time on the carpet. I want to invite you to Kids Spirit or Youth Space or wherever you're going today And I just want you to, walk a little different, think a little different now, because you know what? You've been around since the beginning of the universe. Get out of here, you old people. Go on. We have a moment to settle into our ancient bones here and share some of the life and the work that we're about in the next little while. And I know there's a few things just to share, and that is you're all welcome to stay after our gathering today for a pre-AGM meeting. The AGM is next Sunday. That's our annual general meeting. That's a time for us to look at the year past and look at the year ahead and plan and make sure that we're all in good order for the year that's ahead of us. But before that, we've got a few conversations that we can have today at our pre-AGM meeting, including hearing from our Camp Dragonfly leaders, hearing about our proposed 2025 budget, and hearing about a concept of universal bathrooms that might be a project ahead of us as a community. But before you stay for that meeting afterward, oh, and by the way, for folks at home, you can join us on Zoom. The link is in your messenger or in the calendar on our website, so please join us on Zoom to participate in those meetings. Before any of that, you're welcome to grab a piece of cake. I'm not saying cake can hold you all afternoon, but it might hold you 45 minutes to an hour that we'll be together after our gathering. Why is there cake? Because Joan Stevens is celebrating her 75th birthday this week, and so we celebrate with you, Joan. Joan's like many of us. Yes, we turn our gaze to her and she doesn't want it. So let's just eat cake. And we won't embarrass Joan any further. Karen, you have some news from the property maintenance team. You can also have water if you like.
In the coming weeks, you'll see a few announcements about the kitchen. We are looking, we're transitioning the role, but we're looking forward to having a few people step up and take on the weekly cleaning. So if you have limited time available, this is a great volunteer opportunity. Occupational health and safety requires that we do a weekly clean. Doesn't take that long, but it's really important. Also, as Dakota settles into the role, we will start our annual spring clean, the deep clean of the kitchen, where we pull everything out and take care of everything. So keep an eye out for the Morning Messenger for announcements. If you are able to help with cleaning the kitchen, you can either talk to me or Dakota, and we'll sign you up. It's really just for a few months. The more people we have, the less time you have to commit. Anything you want to say? It's in the Morning Messenger.
Yeah. It's I put a little bio to get to know me. I don't know most of you, even though I've been here a year, so would like to get to know more of you guys and maybe learn your names a little bit better, and see where we can, let's just go with it and do our best to keep the kitchen clean and make sure that we all have a good place to, have our meals and share community together. So. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pat Seal, and I've been invited to share some history of the United Church. And well, my roots go back in this church a long time. I want to say that 100 years ago, my grandfather was active in the Methodist Church. I think it was called St. Luke's in Calgary. And his next door neighbor, the Francises, were very active in the Presbyterian Church. So at the Day of Union, the two families made a commitment to go together to their new church, which was now Hillhurst United Church in Calgary. And I'll tell you, it's still going and is one of the most progressive churches in Calgary. My mother and dad were married there, and I was baptized there. So that side of my family has 100 years history. When I met my husband, Jim, I found out that the Seals were very much involved in building a church between Wainwright and Vermilion called Auburndale United, and it was built as one of the first newly built churches in the United Church, what became the United Church of Canada. So it was dedicated on June the 10th in 1925. And it's amazing that I've got roots that are that deep. They told me to limit it to 2 minutes.